What if the future of the Los Angeles Lakers isn't shaped by the immediate perfection of polished stars, but by the raw, untamed hunger of potential waiting to ignite? What if the line between championship glory and heartbreaking collapse is measured not in accolades on a resume, but in the grit, growth, and fearless determination of a player who's yet to find his full wingspan? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama, because today, the Lakers just made a seismic gamble. One that could rewrite the trajectory of this franchise faster than you can say, Lake Show. They passed on the predictable path of center to anchor the paint, a sharpshooter to space the floor, and instead, they went laser-focused on a name barely whispered in everyday basketball conversations, a name that's about to loom large. Adieu, Theo. The Lakers traded up for Theo, a 6 feet 7 inches forward with a 7-foot wingspan, a built frame that screams warrior, and a relentless motor that could define the team's identity going forward. It's a pick that's not about comfort or immediate payoff. It's about embracing the challenge of molding a fierce competitor, an athletic freak with undeniable upside, but also clear flaws that nearly cost him his college spotlight. Theo isn't your textbook prospect. He's the paradox of talent tangled in growth pains. A kid who first laced up at 4, under the critical eye of his dad-turned-coach, celebrating a milestone victory not on national TV, but in the quiet pride of being the person who taught him the game. Stepping into high school at just 5 feet 8, he mortified scouts with a colossal growth spurt that ballooned him to 6 feet 8 inches in shoes. But that metamorphosis came at a cost. The shooting that once flickered in his guard days vanished as his hands grew faster than his basketball instincts could catch up. With a release timing thrown off kilter and rhythm turned strange, his jump shot became a moving target, and that's the key reason most dismissed him as a project too far. Yet the Lakers see something different. They believe that when his frame finally settles and his shot returns, because deep down, it's there Theo won't just be a role player. He'll be a weapon. His freshman season was a whispered disappointment. 2 points per game and just 9 minutes on the floor. But what followed was the slow emergence of a player breaking free from doubt. Sophomore year saw him nearly quadruple his scoring, improve his shooting splits, bolster his rebounds from 2 to 5 a night, and expand his defensive impact with steals that revealed a growing understanding of timing and anticipation. Then came the transfer from Kentucky to Arkansas, where the kid exploded statistically: 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals per game, and finally showed flashes of the roller coaster potential that the Lakers now own. He may not be the household name yet, but Adu Theo's relentless growth trajectory and concussion of hard-nosed hustle put the Lakers at the center of a compelling narrative. A young man shaped by late growth, battling inconsistent mechanics, but blessed with an athleticism and dunking ability rivaled only by the lottery's best, alongside the number 3 pick VJ Edgecombe. More than that, the Lakers snagged a personality, a locker room spark who jokes about finding cheat codes on the court, who turns to the rim for encouragement when no one else is watching, a kid who attacks the basket not with delicate footwork, but like a bulldozer fueled by ancestral fire. A beast whose explosive first step and sheer physicality present nightmare problems for opponents night after night. Yet, it's not just brute strength. Theo's guard upbringing surfaces in his instinctual playmaking of vision and passing ability surprising for a forward his size, capable of slicing defenses open and creating offense out of chaos. Defensively, he's the coach's fantasy. Versatile enough to guard positions 1 through 4, with lateral quickness to match his length, disrupting shots and passing lanes with a wingspan that feels like it belongs to a 7-footer rather than a wing. But the Achilles heel remains glaring: the shot. His three-point percentage, a meager 28.4% over 3 college seasons, paired with rigid mechanics and a free throw rate that hovers near 71%, raises questions about how his offensive ceiling will translate at the NBA level. Right now, that limits the space he can create for teammates, shrinking the floor instead of stretching it, an issue that could define his path from hopeful role player to essential contributor. Yet, this pick also signals something deeper in the Lakers' blueprint, a blueprint that prioritizes injecting youth, athleticism, and relentless energy into a backcourt and wing rotation starving for explosion and defensive toughness. Theo's wings and hops aren't just skills. They're key ingredients for turning defense into transition offense alongside the team's spearheads, like Luka Doncic and LeBron James, whose brilliance demands teammates who can sprint the floor, slash the rim, and be secondary lob threats in a high-octane offense. In fact, Theo's style fits the Lakers' newfound hunger for speed and physicality, a needed antidote to the softness and sluggishness that haunted their playoff runs. We still haven't solved the center conundrum, but around Luka's halo and AD's ever-improving presence, Theo could become the missing puzzle piece, bringing defensive tenacity and chaos on the break. Picture him muscling into the paint, drawing fouls with brutal contact, blocking shots, and breathing life into a roster that sometimes feels decades past its athletic peak. Even as a work in progress, he enters a system with one of the best shooters the franchise has seen in J.J. Redick, whose mentorship could hold the key to unlocking Theo's inconsistent shooting. If that shot ever clicks, watch out, because then he becomes more than an energy guy or a locker room spark. He becomes a problem for opponents on both ends of the court. Just imagine how foreign it must feel to be a kid suddenly thrust into purple and gold, trading bated breath and backyard courts for the bright lights of the Staples Center and the locker room behind the likes of LeBron and Luka. A dude's reflections capture the surreal shock of that journey, watching on TV as a fan, then overnight transforming into a teammate alongside legendary figures, still struggling to wrap his head around what just happened. As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel a surge of cautious hope wrapped in nervous tension every time the roster moves beyond comfort and certainty to chase potential in its rawest form. We've seen the heights and suffered the plummets, felt the ecstasy of dynasty and the gut-wrenching shadow of rebuilds. And now, in the shadows of a playoff drought that feels like an eternity, this move embodies that eternal Lakers paradox, the glimmer of greatness tangled with the risk of unraveling. So, is this the dawn of a new empire forged by grit, youth, and relentless grit? Or is it the first crack in the foundation of our championship dreams? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one. Listen up. This isn't just another off-season highlight or a meme-worthy trade alert. This is a wake-up call screaming at every breath of purple and gold air we suck in. If you think this move's about chalk and predictable box scores, you're missing the forest for the trees. Adu Theo isn't a checkbox. He's the wild card, the unpredictable storm coming off that 3-on-3 court where legends are born or broken. The kind of player who either shatter our expectations or become the ghost story we whisper in years when the ship sunk, but either way, he rewrites our narrative. Because the stakes? Oh, they're sky high. This is about legacy. It's about what we owe LeBron right now, at this stage in his career where every moment feels like the ticking of a high-stakes bomb. The king isn't just dragging us through wins and losses, he's still shouldering the weight of a franchise that's been caught in purgatory too long. We've seen it before the 2010 Revenge Tour where the Lakers clawed back into supremacy. The sting of early 2000s fade-out. Hell, even that 2020 bubble banner felt like a fleeting dream in an otherwise shifting desert of uncertainty. But this move? It's a statement. It says, LeBron's not here to coast, and neither is this team. But imagine the pressure. Imagine the monster that AD carries, this team's defensive anchor, its off-silent backbone carrying the bruises of unmet expectations, whispering fears about whether the pieces around him will rise or shatter under the pressure. Theo enters this pressure cooker like a lit fuse raw, hungry, but untested in the full firestorm of NBA scrutiny. And that's both thrilling and terrifying. We talk about LeBron's twilight years like they're a countdown, a flickering candle that could blow out any night. But what if Theo's arrival sparks a new dawn instead? What if this young gun's relentless motor and unprecedented length allow LeBron and, more importantly, Bronny to play against the grain, pushing us in directions only dreamt of years ago? Bronny, who's grown up in the shadow of the king, now has a front row seat to this transformation, a living blueprint for what perseverance and raw talent look like at the highest level. But what if the weight of expectation stifles other Theo before the shine even sets in? What if the Lakers front office, seasoned yet sometimes slow to pivot, stumbles again in this delicate art of balancing risk and reward? Genie Bus is still steering the ship, but the tides around the NBA front office landscape are shifting with a billionaire's breath threatening to disrupt the power balance, to rewrite the rules of ownership and decision-making across the league. Imagine how it ripples, how a new boss at the helm could redefine how aggressively the team chases youth versus established stars. Could this inject fresh urgency or deepen the chaos beneath the surface? Picture the Lakers' halls haunted by ghosts of rivalry, the 80s Showtime flash and magic, the triangle offense precision of Phil Jackson's 2 decades, Kobe's relentless Mamba mentality tearing through the 2000s, fading only when the three-peat became 4 and LeBron swaggered in with his unique legacy to carve. Every golden banner hanging is a reminder of what's at stake, a whisper in the locker room answering the question, can this raw talent convert into championship grit? Because that's the question burning like a forest fire as we watch the Western Conference morph again. The Warriors still hover in the distance, Steph and Clay's splashes echoing like burdens and blessings all at once, the dynasty threatening, cohesion that makes every game against them feel like a mountain hike. In ankle-deep mud, Denver lurks with Jokic, a freak of nature himself, and the Suns, always in some swirl of drama and promise, are painstakingly rebuilding their own thunder. And the Clippers? Oh, the Clippers. They're the shadow menace the city rivals with star power and an itch that could turn this chaotic scramble for supremacy into a lethal crossfire of egos and talent. But what if Theo's arrival, this athletic disruptor with a corner three that might someday fall and a defensive presence that already alters offensive schemes, breaks open the Warriors' fortress? Imagine the Lakers reclaiming the physicality edge they lost chasing flash and finesse. Could this usher in a seismic shift not just for our team but the entire conference? Or does this high-stakes move risk sliding us into even deeper instability another season of what if and almost, or repeat of painful rebuilds threaded into the color of gold and purple? I keep picturing the scene at Crypto.com with the crowd roaring for every dunk, every contested steal, every deflected pass that showcases Adu's emerging dominance. But mixed in is that knife-edge tension, the chill of what happens if the shot stays broken, if the mechanics refuse to align, if the burden of expectation cracks this kid just as he's about to soar. Let's not sugarcoat the truth. This pick, this entire precarious gamble, is a mirror held up to the soul of the Lakers right this instant. We're no longer that unstoppable juggernaut. Not yet. We're the team of hopeful rebuild, of faith, in youth and rawness, of embracing athletic warriors who collide with destiny. Reeves' grit and scrappy heart may be the blueprint Theo aspires to, but the world watches hungry for the moment the rookie turns from underdog to cornerstone. That's the fascination, the pulse that keeps fans yelling in the cold stands, chanting when the offense sputters and the doubts creep in. That mix of desperation and hope has always been Lakers basketball, an intoxicating cocktail that fuels every championship run and every painful fall. And here's the kicker. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's family. The intensity leaks into the psyche of everyone watching. It's about the legacy LeBron leaves, about a D finally embracing the role as the franchise's emotional and physical nucleus, and about a young man named Adu Theo who might just become the kingmaker this franchise has craved during its darkest troughs. The narrative thread, stitched together by historic echoes of Magic's Showtime drives, Shaq and Kobe's dominations, Kobe's Mamba mentality legacy, and LeBron's relentless chase for immortality, it now points sharply at a crossroads. A decision encoded in every training session, every crunch time possession, every piercing glance from the coaching staff that can make or break a young man's career. Because make no mistake, the Lakers today, with this stunning draft maneuver, have thrown down a gauntlet not just to themselves, but to the entire NBA universe. This is high drama turned up to 11, a script still being written in sweat and sacrifice and ambition. And the final act? It's still a mystery. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. This kid, Theo, will either rise from the ashes of doubt like a phoenix set aflame by every single purple and gold, heart watching him, or he'll become that painful what-if echo that haunts Lakers lore alongside the missed shots, missed calls, and missed chances. This season won't just be about wins and losses or playoff breadcrumbs. It will be a turning point, a test of whether the Lakers can capture lightning again in a bottle forged by youth. Dreams and something pure and unbreakable. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, because this story's just begun, and the entire world is waiting to see if the Lake Show rises or falls in fire tonight.